www.awoware.com.
Hello, family and friends. How are you today? My name is Praise Fowe, and I'm super excited to be back once again. You know how we do it here? I tackle complex family life issues with a view to bringing you simple solutions that can resolve these challenges. I am regarded as number one across the globe when it comes to family life innovation and strategy. And I'm super happy to be back again. I'm not tired of saying I'm super excited. So last time we started taking a look at how to co-parent, because it's becoming an area of a major need across the globe right now. You would find out that it's not difficult for people to get divorced right now. People can work in and work out. I mean, people have done marriages in 7 hours, they're out of the marriage. But the challenge is, how does the child work out when the two lovers are working out? That's usually the big problem. So last week we began to look at understanding co-parenting. Today I want us to take a look at how to move from pain to responsibility, because a lot of people struggle to move away from the pain of the broken marriage, that it becomes very tough and difficult to relate when it comes to co-parenting. Now, so from mastering co-parenting from pain to responsibility. Now, the first thing I want us to look at today is why co-parenting failed. Now, you realize that one of the problems is the fact that there's a different worldview on parenting, right? Where people have been through pain and the divorce was very bad, and then you want them to come and co-parent when they have different worldviews. As a matter of fact, that different worldview, we call it culture incompatibility, was what was responsible for the breaking the broken down marriage in the first place. So how are two people who couldn't communicate effectively in marriage, how are they going to communicate their desires and communicate what they want in co-parenting? And that's why we often say that you need to get a credible practitioner or professional who can help you. Number two is the pain of separation and the memories seeing each other brings. I mean, we're all human. So when someone has been through a terrible divorce and we have to co-parent again, I mean, we've had memories, maybe it was even a violent marriage, seeing the person, there is this emotions that you feel. So when someone has not fully healed from the trauma of the divorce, it becomes very difficult, and co-parenting can sometimes fail because people would rather avoid the person than engage the person. Number three is the dynamics of moving on and integrating into a new family. So take, for instance, where the other person has married someone else and you are still single, and now it looks like, what you built together, someone else is enjoying it, and that wasn't the future. Nobody gets married with a plan to divorce or with a plan to leave their home. The trauma of leaving the home, moving on, integrating into a new family, blended family system can be too much for people to bear. Then the best custodian becomes another issue. Who should the child live with? Should it be the mother? Should it be the father? So, that can be a major bottleneck. Then external influence. External influence talks about, it's not just the two people involved. Then you have families versus family, friends versus friends, and the well-wishers. Then you have the people who actually don't care what is happening, the bloggers, and people are reporting, putting all kinds of pressure. Then how we see us, how people see us, how the society sees us, so people believe that when your marriage is broken down, something is wrong with you, and so you lack the capacity to co-parent. Or let's say the marriage broke down as a result of infidelity. They believe that, his life is signed and that nothing good can come out of him or her anymore. But that's not totally correct. So when you have all of these reasons, co-parenting can fail. But I love the statement that says, as long as you're unable to assess the power of the now, every emotional pain that you experience leaves behind the residue of pain that lives on in you. So we talk about the power of the now. So if you're listening to me, you're going through pain, you're struggling to co-parent with your ex, then I am the one you need to listen to. You are the one I've come for today. And I hope this helps you. Now, you say the pain of separation is the emotional state that follows the journey from a romantic movie into an horror movie, thereby leaving a memory of pain that permanently positions, the culprit, as a monster that you don't want to have anything to do with, right? And so it numbs every good moment as if it never existed. So the challenge, of co-parenting or divorce is that when people fall apart, they totally, completely forget that there was a time they played together, they did things together. They completely, totally, they numb themselves, pretend to see there was no good moment. So all they perpetually remember are the bad experiences, which is not totally correct. And that's why we say that, you see, opinions are exaggerated facts. And that's why when you work with a professional, you are able to, assemble your thought and reassemble things and situate things in the right perspective. So the pain of separation, that's the emotional state that follows the journey from a romantic movie. It used to be a romantic movie because that was how you got married. It was romantic. Then it became an horror movie, So people struggle to move from the horror movie, forgetting that while they are watching the horror movie, the romantic movie still exists, So we say there is something called narrative management. The narrative you have chosen to give to what happened, because nobody is absolutely bad. No matter the pain they have inflicted on you, there must be something good about them that you can't say doesn't invalidate the fact that the good exists. So there are fundamentals we need to understand. One, pain is real and sometimes too deep for outsiders to process. Pain is real and sometimes too deep for outside the process. As outsiders, so when people say, "Oh, just move on," no, you don't need to just move on. It's deep and it differs from person to person. Pain is a servant that helps us remember our defeat, but often forgets the victories in the defeat. That's what I call it. It's a servant. It helps us remember our defeat, but you see, it helps also forget the victories in the defeat, because embedded in every pain is a victory. It could have cost you your life. You could have been dead. You could have been gone. That you made it out is a victory. And there are also things that the pain is preparing you for that you may never see if you are not able to appropriate what has happened and articulate them accurately. Pain, however, is a function of our interpretation, which is absolutely our responsibility. I can't overemphasize that. It is a function of your interpretation. So someone dealt with you badly, then you concluded interpretation is a bad man, is a useless man, is a selfish man. If that was your interpretation, yes, based on how you feel, you're correct, but that's not the total truth, because that actually puts us in a position where you think there's nothing good about the person, but it's not true. Everyone has got a good side, they've got a bad side, and they've got the possibilities that happens in the future. That's why we don't say the man is bad. We can say this man is an excellent man who is going through some kind of trauma on his way to wholeness. So that trauma is an aggregation of the bad that you want to call the bad, because your interpretation can totally mess you up. And sometimes you secrete poisonous hormones into your system simply because you have interpreted wrongly. And that's why we say nothing means anything except the meaning you attach to it. Your interpretation have got to be yours. Pain is the tax master whose goal is to redefine your life and take the power to live freely from you by imposing itself in a way that you forget every other aspect of you. Right. So if you're not careful, your pain can move you into someone else. You become a totally different person that used to be happy-go-lucky. Then you become very moody. You become, a mess, total mess that you can't even appropriate anything any longer, right? So you find out that pain puts you at effect and not at cause. Effect is it's happening to me. My life is over. My life is messed up. Marriage is over. You know what? What did I do to deserve this? Is devil against me? Did God against me? But you can be at cause to say it's a reality of life. It has happened. What do we do next? Right? It doesn't necessarily mean the person is totally bad. It may mean that your time together is over. If we keep it simple and we interpret it in a way that promotes our wellness, then we'll be able to effectively handle pain. Now, I must, however, say this, that nobody understands your pain like you do, because what happened to you is peculiar to you. However, your journey into healing is also your personal responsibility, and it's never going to happen until you choose between the past and creating a new future. right? So nobody understands your pain. That's valid. I don't even understand your pain. You know exactly how you feel, why you feel what you feel, right? But you see, the same way pain was is something you feel personally. Your journey into healing is also a personal responsibility, right? It will never happen. You have to perpetually choose between the past and the future. That future is unknown. So there will be a lot of emotions, roller coaster emotions, but you need to understand that, I mean, whether sooner or later is a decision you have to take. Now, so there's some of the questions you want to answer as you move from pain to responsibility. Now, I hope this will help you. So feel free to pause and to answer each of these questions. It will take you a longer time than the speed with which I'm going, but don't rush it because it will bring clarity. Number one, what is good about your ex? Right? Don't tell me everything about him is bad. No, there must be something good about him. So can you try to find, the cloud, the silver lining in the dark cloud? Number two, what were the good moments you guys ever shared together? Don't tell me, oh, we didn't have any good moments. You had those good moments. Can you write them down? What was it about his journey that could have contributed to the breakdown or, you both experience? What could they be about his journey? Maybe his past, his upbringing. There must be something about him. And I want you to think outside of yourself. Be the therapist right now. Think as a therapist, not as a victim, as if you're psychoanalyzing someone. I mean, you know about your spouse, your ex, whether he or she, you know his story or story, how they grew up. What do you think happened in that past that could have triggered, the breakup you guys experienced? Number four, what were the knowledge gaps of both of you when you were in marriage? Yeah, you guys had knowledge gaps, that existed when you were in marriage. What were those knowledge gaps? Can you, write them out, right? What were the knowledge gaps that you guys have not, paid attention to, right? Number five, what five positives or opportunities exist in this breakup? You have to think very hard and look very hard because there are opportunities to every adverse situation. So what five positives or opportunities exist in this breakup? Can you pick your pen and look for five? Don't tell me you can't have five. There must be, right? So think as if the box doesn't exist. Number six, what did not happen in the breakup? There was what happened in the breakup, but many a time we mix what happened with what did not happen. So he broke up with you, he cheated on you, she cheated on you, she left you, right? But what did not happen was that your name did not change. They did not destroy your life because the destroy my life is an interpretation because no situation on itself can destroy someone else except to the extent to which you've allowed it to have effect or impact on you. So what did not happen in the breakup? Number seven, what would be a balanced narrative about your ex? And to find that narrative, look for what is good about him, then summarize the bad into an empowering statement, then don't foreclose the future. So for example, if you think that he's a powerful dresser, he's an handsome guy, or she's a very, very prudent woman, my ex is an amazing woman or very, very prudent woman who became very troubled, right? But on the way to becoming an excellent mother, right? So you realize that you have created a narrative that promotes your wellness and protects both of you. Now, if your pain is a contagious disease that is capable of consuming your child and destroying his or her future, and if making space for your ex is the key to eliminating this disease, what will you be willing to do? I need you to pause at this juncture and think through your answer, right? Project the child in front of you, or your children in front of you. Let's say the pain you feel about your spouse or your ex is a contagious disease that is capable of consuming your child. That if you don't do something about it, it will consume your child and destroy your child's future. Now, making a space for your ex is the key to eliminating the disease. What will you be willing to do? Now, according to Gail Bennett, when it comes to, moving from pain to responsibility, your goal is not to make yourself forget about the past. It's impossible to forget about the past. However, you can change the meaning. Your goal is not to stuff or ignore your feeling, right? That creates another problem. I mean, you can be addicted, whatever, to something or to substance, to people. No, that's not the goal. The goal is not to wait for an apology or acknowledgement, from the person who hurts you. That's postponing your happiness. Don't even wait for, it's like you are waiting for them to come and say sorry. Someone says it's like taking poison on behalf of someone else and expecting them to die. Don't wait for an apology. It may never come, because you don't want anything that would hamper your happiness. Don't wait. It's not to wait for time to heal all wounds, right? You may need more time. They say time heal all wounds. It's not totally correct. You need to confront it in time for the time to heal all wounds. Any wound you don't treat can eventually kill you. It's not also to wallow endlessly in your emotion. Oh, so painful. Oh, why did they do this and why did they do that? It's not also to redo the past. You can't change what happened, but you absolutely can change your reaction to what happened. That's by Gail Brenner. And I love it. I've always used it. So you need to know what it's not. Now, your goal is to clear every debris that may stand in the way of your child becoming a global icon. That is the commitment to co-parenting. It's the charge is you need to clear every debris, every dirt that can stand in the way of your child becoming who your child needs to be. And here are a couple of tips. Number one, separate your feelings from your behavior, or from even the behavior of your spouse. Separate it. Your feeling is not a true reflection of what you truly want. You want to be happy, but you're feeling sad. What outcome do you want? You need to separate your feeling from your behavior. Two, you need to create a gratitude journal and write a feeling letter forgiving yourself. So create a gratitude journal. What are you grateful for about your life, about your child or your children, about what happened to you? There is always something to be grateful for, and you can write a feeling letter to yourself stating exactly how you feel and the mistakes you've made, what you are now learning, and you say you forgive yourself. Number three, focus on the best interest of the child. See, you are the secondary when it comes to co-parenting. The child is the primary. So what will be the best interest of the child? Is it by taking his father or mother away, or by lying, or by exaggerating, or by turning them against the father? Will that even give you peace? It doesn't give you wellness. You don't use a child to avenge a pain that your ex caused you. No. Master the art of use of narrative management, understanding that people in a disempowered state can do bad things, right? That traumatize people, inflict trauma on other people. That whosoever has caused you pain, there must have been pain in them for them to have caused you pain. And pain is now used, been transferred to you. If care is not taken, you will transfer the aggression of that pain on other people. Hurting people hurt others. You must have had that. So it's time for you to master the use of narrative management to say, this person is so excellent. He's an excellent person, but became troubled, but now has the capacity to become a better father, or now we're co-parenting. You need to create that narrative. Narrative management as what is good about the person, what is a summary of what is bad about the person, and what the person is capable of becoming in the future. Next, you need to focus on promoting on what promotes your mental wellness. What's the best outcome from this process, and what opportunities abound? Take a projection into the future. Visualize the next 10 years, right? Who is your child going to become? Right? Think about your child getting married. Think about your child being in a fantastic home, becoming an incredible person. Think of the two of you attending the wedding ceremony and looking at what you've done. Or contrast that with you keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and the child turns out badly, gets into drugs. What do you want? And lastly, make it work for your good, because this process will also make you better. I love this quote that says, healing doesn't mean the pain never existed. It means the damage no longer controls our life. Healing does not mean the pain never existed. It means the damage no longer controls our life. Now, you need to understand this, right? And that there are things you may need to do, right? To move from pain to responsibility in parenting. But if you go through some of the things we have discussed today, for example, some of these tips, right, you would see that what you call pain is the interpretation you have given to an adverse event, or an event, not even adverse, an event that's happened in your life. That event may actually work for your good. But because we are too attached sometimes, it becomes very difficult to detach that even when divinity is creating something bigger, something better for our future, we never say it. But you know that for the best interest of the child, you need to move from pain to responsibility. Now, healing, it's possible. Healing is doable, and you do it for you, not for the other person. You don't heal so that they can love you, or heal so that you can forgive them. No, you heal for you, because it's better for you to live in an awesome state where you're happy with yourself, happy by yourself. Because if you keep wallowing in pain and a debilitating ailment strikes you, if you drop dead, life continues, and that's not what you want. You have so much ahead of you. And remember, the star in this game It's not you. The star in this game is actually the child. And so you want to do everything in the best interest of the child in a way that, the child becomes the best version of himself. And when the child becomes the best version of himself, both of you win. Co-parenting is not, he's winning, I must win, or, he's losing, I must win. No, it's not a competition. It's something that the two of you need to come together to discuss and ask yourself, what exactly do we want for this child? You can always get the best for your child when the two of you come together. But in coming together, we need to move away from the pain that has held us bound and move into responsibility to know that, yes, it happened. It happened 5 years ago. It cannot hold us bound because there's another 5 years in front of you, another 10 years in front of you. In fact, it might be the best opportunity to find a better lover or to do something extraordinary with your life. If you want further coaching, you can send a mail to tolani@iampraisforward.com, or you can chat us up or call us on that number. And if you want to support this, feel free to donate via Zelle or donate via PayPal, for us to be able to reach more people. But trust me, we have all it takes to assist you become the best version of you. When we come back the next time, we will take on another topic that can help you co-parent effectively. Till then, enjoy your life and know that we celebrate you, we honor you, and I know that you will become the best version of yourself. Have a fantastic day.